Hello and a very warm welcome to all our racing patrons joining for the race preview on this 21st day of the winter races. First race is the second division of the Rising Star Plate to be run over 6 furlong. Number 1 is Indy, who ran in race number 143. Fancied twice, beaten in both the starts. Race number 112 finished third to Garnet. Here finished on a faraway fourth to Nolan by a margin of nearly 5.5 lengths. Number 2, Max, and number 4, City of Blossom. They ran in race number 151. This is the last week run where Max finished off the board 11th. City of Blossom, even though little contentious up with the pace, fell back to finish 7th to NRI Touch, gets a drop of 2 points. And Max also gets a drop of 2 points. We go to number 3, Cosmico, race number 32. This is a run which came in the month of January, 24th of January, where it finished on 6th to Live Song. This is not earlier to January. Race number 32 means early part of the season. After running 5th in race number 2 to Show Me a Walk, here finished a faraway 6th, slightly fancied at 9-2 was Cosmico. And we go to number 5, Archangels. Archangels ran in race number 136, finishing 9-2 Narak Michi. Very good win for Narak Michi after a couple of runs. And looking at Archangels, 5 runs off the board in all the 5 starts, gets a drop of 2 points. Number 6 is Special Effort. Special Effort ran in race number 127 over 1100 meters, finishing 7th. Earlier 2 runs, 7 furlong and 6 furlong. Twice 4th, 4-2 Beauty Flame and 4-2 Pacific Command by a margin of nearly 4 lengths. But here, not in a contentious position, because Backmarker from 8th position just moved up a place at the post to finish 7th. Blazing Jupiter and Lockstiller, they ran in race number 148. Let's look at Lockstiller, finished on 3rd. This was a surpriser of the pack, being Hip Hop. Blazing Jupiter came with a very powerful surge, about to tackle the leader Lockstiller, but surprised by Hip Hop, who shot between the runners, and even the 2 runners split the line together. Nose went in favor of the winner, that was Hip Hop. So finishing second up in class is Blazing Jupiter with a penalty of 3 points, and Lockstiller gets a penalty of 1 point. Number 8 is Lifetime, who ran in race number 152, which was won by Hashtag Covered Ground, to come and beat the front runner by a neck. But looking at Lifetime, after being a front runner in earlier days of the season, particularly last 4 runs coming from behind is Lifetime. Number 9 is Ibak, who ran in race number 144, finishing 7-2 Rhythm Selection. Going by the form of Ibak, earlier 6 furlong trip, finished on 4th, even though missed the start by a couple of lengths behind Narak Michi, but did not produce that run here, and finishing towards the fence at Grey. We cannot miss it, finishing 7th to Rhythm Selection. Second race is the second division of the Rising Star Plate to be run over 6 furlong. Number 1 is Kirkman, who ran in race number 118 over 6 furlong. The grey ridden hard took time to warm up behind DRD, finishing 6th, whereas earlier runs, when you look at it, after finishing thrice 3rd and once a notable 2nd to Lineweiler, the other 2 runs off the board in the same class, but over a different trips like mile and 6 furlong. Number 2, Mind Reader, and number 5, Once More. Other runners, the stablemates, ran in race number 148. They were wide apart, especially Mind Reader very wide, and Once More between the runners, and Ridden Hard started to weaken. And Mind Reader, on the other hand, even though mustered, but very late to finish 7th, and Once More fell back to finish 8th, gets a drop of 2 points. So too Mind Reader gets a drop of 2 points. We move on to number 3, Top Diamond. This is a runner in race number 111 towards the fence. Ridden hard, led the field, but the surpriser of the pack was Miraya, who got level with Top Diamond and got the race by a neck better of the fast finishing Battle Ready, and Top Diamond finished on 3rd, so up by 1 point is Top Diamond. Number 7, Battle Ready, and number 4, Bloom Buddy, also coming for scrutiny. They ran in race number 138 over a mile. Let's look at Battle Ready. Earlier run, very impressive 2nd to Miraya, but here in the same class but over an extra 200 meters was not there at all in the running, because you can see suddenly weakening Whereas Bloomberry, on the other hand, earlier ran fourth but could not reproduce that run over a similar trip of a mile and finished on eighth. Golden Forza, after being the leader, gave up to rhythm selection and could not stay in the second place also, overall by a couple of runners, and finished on fifth. Gets a drop of 2 points after 3 times on the board. Second to Furious Fun, third to Rising Queen, second to Gusty Note. Then all never missing that front running role, but getting packed off in the last 100 meters. Number 8 Fortuna and number 11 Prime Gardenia. They ran in race number 151, which over a 6 furlong, which was won by NRI Touch. When you look at the runs with NRI Touch ridden hard, just brushing a couple of runners, and Prime Gardenia, even though did not get disturbed there, but after from there could not muster well. Whereas the other runner, that was number 8 Fortuna, also came little late to finish fifth. Arya, this is race number 129, ridden hard was Arya, took time to warm up, even though mustered well. Better was Loris, who was coming from behind with a terrific run to get the race by a head better of the long time leader, and Arya, after being chasing the leader, settled for third position, up by 1 point. Number 10 is Gurbaz, who ran in race number 153 over a mile, except for twice fourth in 5 runs. 9 furlong trip, 4 to Moringa, then 4 to Campania. Other 3 runs off the board from mile this season, particularly running over a sprint first time after 5 runs from 9 furlong, mile, and 7 furlong, first time over 7. Third race on the Sunday meeting, the Qutub Shahi Million, to be run over a mile for 4-year-olds and upward. Number 1 is Havelock Cruise. This run came in the month of November. So even though it's a winter run, race number 13, long rest for Havelock Cruise, and here finished on third to Ashwa Bravo, was too good on the day. When you look at Havelock Cruise, vigorously ridden, gathered momentum, but could not match the speed of Ashwa Bravo. Number 2 is Summer Night. This is race number 121 over 2000 meter trip, finishing third to Scramjet. When you look at the runs of Summer Night, winner over a mile, beating Kesariya Balam, then third in a 9 furlong trip to Kesariya Balam, here third in a 2000 meter trip to Scramjet. Did his best to bridge the gap and finished on third by a margin of 4 lengths. Number 3 is NRI Valley. NRI Valley, race number 11, and which was won by, this is a race number 20 fun of Hyderabad, then went to Mumbai in a million race, finished on 5th behind Ashwa Bravo. But the race what we are looking at is a winner, beating Saffron Art by 3 1/4 lengths. So of the 3, the highest rated being Havelock Cruise, followed by NRI Valley, then it's Summer Night. So it will be an interesting race. Only 3 runners in the fray for Qutub Shahi Million. Fourth race of the afternoon, the MCEME Rolling Trophy, second division of this event, to be run over 7 furlong. Number 1, Stunning Force. Race number 137, finishing 7th after 2 wins from Class 4. Winner over 5.5 furlong, beaten Angel Ada, took a penalty of 9 points, went up in class, then winner there, beating Kingston by a short head, then tried in a higher class, that is Class 2, where it finished on 7th, so now rated at 64 in this class. He comes back to Class 3. Number 2, City of Wisdom, ran in race number 55, which was won by Red Snapper, who held on by half a length from the fast finishing runner on the outside. But City of Wisdom credentials having 3 runs off the board in all the 3 starts. Number 3 is Own Voice. This is a run of 2,400 meters. That's a Phillies Derby. We call it as Oaks. From 2,000 meters, 7 furlong for the first time. Had only 2 runs. Both the runs in a graded race. In a 2,000, in the first 1,000 guineas, she ran second to Miracle by 4 3/4 of a length. Slightly fancied it 11-4 here. Faith of success was too good to get the Oaks, who already won the Derby. After this Oaks win, that's about faith of success. But looking at Own Voice, ran little late to finish 7th. I think the distance could not stay on. Number 4, Soloist, and number 5, Full Volume. They ran in race number 106, which was won by One Wish. One Wish extended well to a win of 3 lengths, but looking at Soloist, after 2 runs on the board, here fancied a lot, but came little late to finish 5th, gets a drop of 1 point, whereas Full Volume having 3 runs. Comparing its earlier 2 runs, finishing 12th, little improvement to finish 7th. Char Ek Char got the race by a shortest margin. Whisker win to Char Ek Char, just holding on from the fast finishing Southern Act. Very interesting finish in race number 145. And earlier missed the start, but here it was very good at alert start, took there in a 7 furlong trip and won with, even though came late, got the race on time. Miss Marvelous, race number 122. This race was won by In Contention. Going with the form of Miss Marvelous, except for win in race number 41. After that, other 4 runs off the board, tested for over a mile, 2000 meter mile, and first time running over 7 furlong. Number 8 is Rising Queen. This was having a lot of expectation when she won in race number 47, beating City of Bliss. Then second to Castle Rock. Later on, 2 runs off the board, especially race number 107, 9th to Unsung Hero. Here, up with the pace, but in the straight, backed off to finish 7th. Number 9, Sia Vash, ran in race number 135 over 7 furlong, but nothing much to say about this runner. Having 4 runs off the board in all the 4 starts, gets a drop of 2 points. So the way it has performed, twice 9th and twice 10th. 7 furlong, 6 furlong, and 2 7 furlong trips. That's the way it has finished, and it has run. Except for a win in last monsoon, when it won in race number 67 in a 7 furlong trip. Never has shown anything like that in any of the runs. Number 10 is Super Angel. Ran in race number 130, finishing 5th to Trump Star. Just look at Trump Star, who tackles DRD and storms into the lead. At that time, Super Angel comes little late on the outside in the red colors to bridge the gap to finish very close to the frame, finishing 5th. Fifth race on this Sunday meeting is the first division of the MCEME Rolling Trophy to be run over 7 furlong. Red Snapper, number 4, Maktub are the runners. They ran in race number 115, which was won by Red Snapper. Red Snapper came sweetly on the outside to tackle the front runner, pushed hands and heels, then needed a reminder when the runner was bridging the gap. That was Mirana, with a couple of backhanders, was able to stretch to a win of 1 1/4 length, gets a penalty of 8 points, whereas Maktub, on the other hand, came on the outside to finish 5th. Earlier 4-2 Red Snapper, again beaten by Red Snapper, is Maktub. Number 2 is British Empress, the grey. No form of British Empress since last 2 seasons. Monsoon only once 4th, later on 3 runs off the board, once she burst at blood vessels, whereas this season having 3 runs and a back marker in all the 3 starts. So retaining the same rating of 62 is British Empress. Maximum Glamour, race number 122, over a mile behind In Contention. Fancied runner was Maximum Glamour after finishing 3rd to Faith of Success in Oaks, but took time, ridden hard, but still could not get into that rhythm when In Contention turned out to be too good that on the day, winning by 1.5 length. Akido, City of Blessing, Keystone, NRI Sport all ran in race number 135 over 7 furlong. So let's start with Akido, who finished on 6th, City of Blessing 4th, Keystone 2nd, NRI Sport 3rd. This was won by the on money favorite Naughty Dancer, who just overall the leader, that was Keystone, and exploded to a win of 2 3/4 of a length. Look at Keystone struggling there, but still gets it that runner-up berth 1 length ahead of NRI Sport, who was ridden vigorously on the outside and gathered momentum, whereas City of Blessing on the inside also mustering well. But winner being too good, that was Naughty Dancer, who got it very easily to win it by 2 3/4 of a length. And Akido on the outside to finish 6th. Nothing much about Akido except for the last run, 2nd to One Wish. Other runs are not so good, whereas City of Blessing very content. 2nd, then a win, then a 4th, whereas Keystone having 3 runs except for that Oaks run, twice on the board, both the time second. Next runner is Lockhart. This is race number 147, which was won by long shot win Amira, whereas Lockhart did not reproduce that run what it had done earlier, twice being on the board third and second. 10 by the Bay, race number 106, between the runners trying to throw a challenge, one which was too good on the day, pulling it away with Akido fighting with by the Bay, and even one more runner came well on the outside to take the third place, and by the Bay finished on fourth. We move on to the sixth race, the feature event, the N. Nari Reddy Memorial Million, in the memory of the long-standing race club secretary who passed away on the Derby day. We start with Air. Air ran well to get a win, beating True Icon by 3.5 lengths. On a start to finish attempt, had a very long lead of more than 8 lengths, with the True Icon hurrying up to bridge the gap and finished second. We have seen True Icon winning a race after this race, but looking at Air, merit of consistency got this race after finishing fourth to Happy Go Lucky, third to Galway Bay. Here turned out to be a winner. Very impressive. Number 2 is Exclusive Spark, turned out to be a 10-1 short winner. Tackling Malibu went stride for stride. Little Green slightly hanging in. Ride Up did his best by giving reminders on the right and able to get a win by 1.25 length. And this race being a penalty terms race, we go to number 4, Almas, whereas Star Glory comes from Bangalore with a win, beating Prince Venture by 1.25 length. But looking at Almas, the eventual winner, even this runner got a win after being very contentious in 2 starts. Has the merit of consistency, twice second to Ballerina, then second to Ashoka. Here winner, beating Star Medal by 4 lengths. Very impressive win, 4-length victory. And we go to number 5, London Bell, who ran in a million race in race number 123, finishing 5th to Arabian Queen. When you look at London Bell, always the front runner here, dashed to the front, led till the last 300 meters, packed off to finish 5th. Next is number 6, White Roses, who ran in race number 96 and finished on 2nd. Challenged by Galway Bay, fought out, slightly brushed together in the last 150 meters, and Galway Bay was able to get the win in the last ride, stretching it by half a length. Good run coming from White Roses. 7th race, the Mossy Bank Plate, to be run over 2,000 meters. We have Campania, number 10 Lightning Power, and number 13 Winning Streak. Starting off with Winning Streak, who was produced wide with the orange jacket and white colors, and just one horse on the fence on the inside was Lightning Power, ridden hard, whereas Campania, on the other hand, ridden vigorously close to the fence, and winner being Too Good, who got it, that was Isra, getting it by 2 lengths ahead of the field, and Campania finishing on the frame 4th, whereas Winning Streak fell back to 9th, and the other runner, that's Lightning Power, 8th. Number 2 is Mark My Word, race number 147, group of runners. It's a field of 412, and you can see totally strung out, and Mark My Word started to win in the last around 50 meters to finish 12th out of 12. Number 3, Miraya, race number 143. After being a rich dividend payer in race number 111, beating Battle Ready by a neck, here gathered momentum, Little Green according to me, towards the fence. Then the rider went for a whip on the inside, pulled it out, covered ground, but winner being Too Good, Nolan, got it by 3 lengths, and Miraya got the runner a berth, just pinning down the runner on the inside by a short end. Number 14, Dream Jewel, number 4, Southern Act are the 2 runners. This is race number 145. Very interesting finish we saw. We already seen this race with Char Ek Char coming to join the leader, and Southern Act covered enormous ground, then came like a rocket, just fell short of a nose. It was the bobbing of the heads where Char Ek Char got the race by a nose, and Southern Act gets a penalty of 3 points. Number 5, Iceberry, and number 8, Lightning Fairy. They ran in race number 108 over a mile. And most of the runners here are running for the first time over 2000 meters, whereas Iceberry having 2 runs over 2000 meters, once third to Bold bidding earlier on. Here, Mile got interfered in the early part and finished on 7th. Number 6 is Siri. Siri started well this season by winning a 7 furlong trip, 3 7 furlong trip, and 1 sprint. From sprint directly over 2000 meters. 2 runs was slow at the start, but this run jumped with the field, then finished on 5th to Narakmichi. Whereas Lightning Fairy in race number 108 finished on 5th, and Iceberry 8th. Of the two, better performance by Lightning Fairy. We go to yesterday, who ran in race number 92, which was won by Bold bidding. Very started to pick up momentum, even though did well, cut the margin at the post to 1.5 lengths, which was more than 4 in the last 50 meters. Came powerfully, but a little late was yesterday. Number 11, Ashwamiksan, who ran in race number 2 over a 7 furlong trip behind Show Me Your Walk, finishing 4th and first run of the season. After that, pulled up lame in race number 31, got withdrawn on veterinary ground, so given a rest, prepared well is Ashwamiksan. Number 12, Queen Blossom. This is a horse which has run over longer trips well, with even after winning a sprint race, then very improved performance over longer trips. Third in a mile, then second in a 2000 meters. That was a very interesting finish behind Philanthropist, lost it by a nose. Then 2000 meter trip, 4th, but other 2 runs over a mile and sprint of the boat. So back to 2000 meters, where it has performed twice well. Last race is the Seabird Plate, to be run over 6 furlong in category 3 for horses rated up to 25. Number 1 is Ayurthi, who ran in race number 146 over 6 furlong, finishing 13 out of 13, and with a drop of 1 point has come down in class, having 5 runs except for third in a scurry run, close third to Acadian Angel by a 3/4 of a length. Other runs off the board. Number 2, Explosive. This is the runner who is having 7 starts, and 7 starts only once on the board. That was in race number 114, 4-2 unmatched. Other 6 runs off the board. This race was won by Hashtag by a neck, but Explosive on the other hand finished a faraway 6th. My Master and Space Time are the 2 runners. They ran in race number 127, which was won by Sally. When you look at My Master, very wide, almost on the center of the course, and on the other hand, Space Time, just 1 runner off the fence, ridden vigorously, running 4th, fell back a place to finish 5th. Earlier 4-2 Acadian Angel by a margin of 1.5 lengths. Here, winner Too Good Sally just pulled it away by 3 lengths. My Master covered ground to finish 6th. Earlier 4th. Look at the runs of My Master once, 3rd and 4th. 3rd to Miss Little Angel, 4th to Moringa. We go to number 4, Royal Support. This is the horse being a back marker, having 3 runs. In 3 runs off the board in all the 3 starts, gets a drop of 2 points. With this drop has come down in class. So 6th, 11th and 10th, that's the way it has performed. Number 5 is First in Line. First in Line, when you look at the bottom half of the picture, back marker, and finished on 9th behind Char Ek Char, with the 6 of them getting busy. Char Ek Char, Southern Act and couple of runners, whereas First in Line was not so contentious and finished 9th. 2 starts, both the runs 9th, gets a drop of 1 point, also comes down in class. Most of the runners here have come down in class. We go to number 7, Smart Money, who ran in race number 79 after leading the field, just packed off, and like a bursted balloon, just packed off to finish 9th, and the winner being Silver Set, who got it by a neck, whereas Smart Money earlier run 5.5 for long trip, finished on 5th to Flamingo Fame. We go to 8, Spectacular Cruise and New Roll. They ran in race number 140, which was won by NRA Gift. NRA Gift came, tackled the leader and pulled it off by a length. New Roll, on the other hand, finished on 7th. Spectacular Cruise finished on 5th. Spectacular Cruise missed the start by a couple of lengths and finished on 5th. Number 9, Challenger, after 2 runs, third to Silk, third to Salisbury. Particular this run missed the start by a couple of lengths, ridden hard on the outside in a 6 furlong trip and finished on 8th to Soul Empress, I should say. Earlier runs are right acceptable, where it finished on 3rd, even though finished 3rd by a margin of 5.5 lengths and 3rd by 7 lengths, but did not reproduce that run. Tales of a Legend ran in race number 131 or 2000 meters, which was won by New Hustle. After that, suddenly coming back in distance of a 6 furlong. Even though this runner, totally off the board, still remains a maiden, being a 4-year-old, by Tales of a Champion out of Autumn Sky. Number 11, City Queen, and number 13, Academy Angel. They ran in race number 148, which was won by Hip Hop. We have seen this race with Blazing Jupiter about to tackle Lockstella. Between the two was Hip Hop, ridden vigorously both the runners, and stride for stride they went. Nose for the winner, and Blazing Jupiter finished on 2nd, whereas City Queen finished 14th, and the other runner, Academy Angel, finished on 5th. Earlier winner in Class 5 is Academy Angel, beating Good Tidings. Number 14 is Racing Rani, from 9 furlong, running in 6 furlong. Couple of times 6 furlong off the board. Even the run has run over various distance, starting from 6 furlong to 7. Then a Scurry 7, 9 furlong off the board in all the starts. Gets a drop of 1 point. Rated at 8 is Racing Rani. So thank you for joining us for the race preview of Sunday meeting. Wishing good luck to all our racing patrons.